So if even just drinking water makes you feel bloated and gassy, in this video we're going to help you understand what can create this and steps you can take to improve the situation. So it was over on our video for why do I burp so much that user Suryak says, I'm getting excessive gas and stomach even after drinking plain bottled water. What could be the reason for that? And I hear this from people a lot. They're like, I can't even digest water. What is happening here? And remember, I don't know Sir Hack. I don't know their situation. I'm not a doctor. I couldn't possibly be giving anybody medical advice. But we'll look at some studies here so we can get some ideas of what can be creating these issues. And in any situation where someone's feeling very bloated or having a lot of gas, most of these situations are going to be from some type of bacterial overgrowth, either in the stomach or the small intestine, where we shouldn't have a lot of bacteria. Our good bacteria should be here in the large intestine. So when we have some type of overgrowth, these bacteria put out gases like hydrogen and methane, and those gases can expand either our stomach or our intestinal tract and create that bloating, or those gases need to be pushed out. They'll be pushed up and a person will burp a lot, or they'll just have a lot of gas and then people are like kicking them out of the car, like, what's wrong with you? So when we're looking at this situation, these bacteria got into the system in most cases because of some type of hypochlorhydria issue or low stomach acid. When someone is not making enough stomach acid, which can happen for a wide variety of reasons, now when these varmints come in on the food that we're eating, they don't die in an acid bath like they're supposed to. They set up camp and they raise their kids and they have a keg party and it's a great time. So when someone has a bacterial overgrowth and they're having all of these gases, water in the system can physically displace, compress, or mobilize these pockets of gas and create this magnification in bloating. So let's look at this study here on quantification of gastrointestinal liquid volumes and distribution. So what we need to understand is water distribution a little bit. It doesn't just go into the system like a nice little pipe of faucet and just disappear. This study helped us understand that water pools in pockets in the intestinal tract. So these pools of water take up physical space. So when there's a lot of gas in there, the water is going to displace that or push against that. And when there's an overgrowth, that means that there's usually going to be some inflammation. So that intestinal tract lining is going to be hypersensitive. So now that we're pushing against this hypersensitive tissue, it can create a lot of discomfort for some people. Another important aspect that could be creating a magnification to this problem is if someone is having delayed gastric emptying. So the way the stomach works is that food comes in and then it gets acidified by hydrochloric acid, and once that food is acidified, it will empty out here down into the small intestine. But a lot of people are dealing with what's called delayed gastric emptying. And the reason in most cases is because they don't have enough acid to acidify. So why wouldn't it delay in the emptying? It's delaying because it hasn't been acidified and started that breaking down process the way that it's supposed to. So it will move out a lot slower. So a person will eat a meal and like 2 hours later, like, oh, I'll just have some water. And they drink this water and they get all bloated. Well, the stomach is still full of that meal. It hasn't emptied yet. So now you're just putting more volume into a stomach that's already full, and it can really create a distension in that stomach. And why do I look pregnant? I'm a dude. And so the person has a lot of bloating and discomfort in that situation. Now, this is not always the case, but a lot of times a person is dealing with an H. pylori infection, which is a bacteria that usually colonizes in the stomach. And they have the ability to either neutralize stomach acids or turn off the body's ability to produce that stomach acid. And they do this so that they can thrive a little bit more. We have lots of videos on H. pylori. If you need to check that out, we'll put some in the description below this video. But when that's the case and there's a low level of stomach acid in there, now we're going to drink water and that's going to dilute that acid even further, and that can delay that emptying even more. And that doesn't mean a person should drink no water with their food. We need water for that digestive process to work correctly and everything to churn the way that it should. But if someone's having low stomach acid issues, they may want to drink a little bit less water. If you're not sure about this, you can check out our video on 10 signs of low stomach acid, and that'll give you other signs that are going on. But in most cases, when we're having this bloating and all this gas, a low stomach acid is either causing that or contributing to these issues that can make it happen. So one thing that a person can do just to create a reduction in symptoms is they could implement what's called a low FODMAP diet. And basically, this is a diet that has a lower level of fermentable fibers in there. These bacteria, either in the stomach or the small intestine, can ferment these fibers and really create a lot more gases through that fermentation process. Now, H. pylori doesn't ferment fibers, but they can set the stomach up to allow other bacteria to come in that do ferment. So using a low FODMAP diet is not fixing the problem, but a person can feel a lot better while they're doing that. You can just Google low FODMAP diet. You'll find lots of pages that list foods that are more favorable in that scenario. But we like to see people actually fix this situation. So that means that they may need to increase their stomach acid. A lot of people supplement with what's called betaine HCl capsules. But if you're going to do that, you really want to understand how to do that the right way. You can check out our video on 9 betaine HCl mistakes you want to avoid. But before someone starts supplementing with betaine HCl and increasing this stomach acid, they likely want to use some type of antimicrobials to wipe out these bad guys, or at least reduce them a few layers before they start acidifying the stomach. Otherwise, acidifying the stomach can actually magnify a lot of those symptoms. If this bacteria is putting out all this alkaline waste and you create this fezzy mess, it feels uncomfortable. So we like to see people take this step before they get into acidifying the stomach the way that they should. If you're new to this channel and you don't know how to fix these digestive malfunctions, we'll have a link in the description below for our totally free digestion course, and that'll kind of walk you through step by step figuring out which aspects of digestion are not working correctly and steps you can take to improve it. But right now, if you want to learn more about these antimicrobials that we use to kind of help reduce these overgrowth issues, you can jump over and check out our video on how to wipe out bad bacteria in the stomach. I can't wait to hear about your results.